Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 9 kicks off tomorrow, and I have 5 players that are projecting at under 5%. It's a pretty good list this week. There is so much value specifically at the running back position and not a lot of value at the wide receiver position, which is kind of driving to a very straightforward and standard roster construction style for this week. And it's been the same for a couple of weeks, which is making for some very easy value finds. Some of them are paying up to be contrarian. Some other ones are just same price pivots where like people are paying up at those positions but not looking elsewhere. Like last week, everybody was going to pay up for Derrick Henry but didn't want to pay up to go get Christian McCaffrey. And it didn't matter because both of them smashed. But like in the cases where the chalk does not smash and you want to find your way to a lower population play so that when the chalk misses in like 30-40% of those lineups that are being played with that player fall to the bottom of the roster sheet or the bottom of the tournament page, yours has a chance to really elevate itself without a lot of other traffic on it. So that's why we do this video every week. Thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
Make sure that you grab your seat in the Smiz Gang Listener League. It's 4,500 runners are going to be in this one. Got to go to smizzle.tv/links if you want to find the link to get in to the Listener League. It's not in the lobby because it's got absolutely no rake. It's a free rake tournament. No rake at all. DraftKings does not charge the Smiz Gang any sort of service fee. So it's the best tournament that exists on DraftKings. $10 to enter, 3 max, $45,000 in entry fees, $45,000 out in payouts. And I will shout out the top 10 finishers on the recap video on the Al Smizzle Fantasy Football channel, smizzle.tv/ff if you want to go directly there every single Monday. Our first player on the video is going to be Eno Benjamin, projecting at just around 2% this week. If James Conner is out again, so obviously if James Conner is playing, then Eno Benjamin comes right off this. But in the last couple of games that he has been around, we're getting really good usage out of Eno in the passing game, which is where he kind of excels. Now, it's a low floor, high ceiling sort of play at home against Seattle, who has given up chunks of yards and a lot of touchdowns this season. And I don't think that they have the facilities to stop this Arizona offense. Now, Kyler has not done a good job of being consistent, of scoring multiplicities of touchdowns, like scoring a lot of touchdowns in any week. Like, he's just not doing it. A lot of weeks with like a single touchdown. Hopefully, he can like put down the sticks a little bit and move this offense in the case that Connor is out and make Benjamin a really solid play. Like if he gets you over 20 points at the 5,900, he's going to be really low played because of a lot of the other plays that are in this range, right? So we have a very chalky Travis Etienne who's sitting at like 6,300. Ramondre is at 62. Mostert is at the same price. There's so many plays between like 5,200 and 6,500 that you can't play all 10 of them. And so some of them, and right now it looks like Eno Benjamin is going to be one of them, fall to the wayside, but have a very similar ceiling to all of the other players in that same range. So if Connor's out, love Eno at his price tag in tournaments. Dalvin Cook is a pay up to be contrarian spot this week. Everybody's looking for value. As I said, the majority of the clicks are going to fall between 5,200 and 6,500 at the running back position. It's going to dial up a little bit to like the low 7,000s where like Jacobs sits, or they're going to go all the way up to get to Austin Eckler at 8,800, which leaves Dalvin Cook in kind of no man's land. He's had multiple games that have been very, very good. 2 of the last 3 weeks, 26 and 28 DraftKings points. He's really come on more lately than earlier in the year. I want to see this usage in the passing game sustain because I don't think that it does, and I wish that it would. If he was a 5+ target a game guy, it would be the Dalvin Cook that everybody drafted in the first round, both last year and this year. Unfortunately, they're giving him more of these games with 1 target, 2 target, 0 target. We need to get back to this usage that they saw at the beginning of the year and this usage from last week and have that be sticky every single week. 6 targets minimum for Dalvin Cook moving forward. If that happens, this percentage will rise as the salary rises. But this week, he's projecting at like 3.5% on multiple different sites. So if you wanted to get different and build a lineup that has either you're paying up a little bit at running back, so your wide receivers are going to have to find value, which is tough, admittedly, on DraftKings this week, but has massive touchdown upside, big play upside as well with a 53-yard run in week 6 and a 30-yard run in week 8. Definitely has breakaway speed. Certainly involved once they get inside the 5-yard line. So Dalvin Cook under 5 at 7,800. Contrarian in multiple different ways. If you have not already, take a look at our No Kid Hungry fundraiser. Smizzle.tv/charity will take you right there to Tiltify, who handles all of the donations, and they are all 100% tax deductible. They will send you all of the paperwork straight to your email box. So at the end of the year, if you've had a winning year, you win $600 or more on DraftKings, they're going to send you tax paperwork. You need a little tax relief? Be a part of our fundraiser. Every $10,000 that the community raises, I will donate $10,000 of my own money to try and help food insecure kids across America through No Kid Hungry, who does great work in that arena. So once we get to like $50,000 on the ticker right below me there, that's the next match from me. So every single dollar helps. If you got a dollar, if you just like the content, even if you haven't had a winning year in daily fantasy and you wanted to be a part of something bigger than yourself, go to smizzle.tv/charity and give to No Kid Hungry today. How is this even possible? What are we doing? What? 2.8%? Jalen Waddle is projected. And I checked 3 different sites, and on all of them, Jalen Waddle is under 5%. I understand why to some extent. I get that there are better values at the position that are cheaper on a point per dollar basis, right? There's DJ Moore at 5,800. There's Godwin. You've got other players that are in there that are getting a lot of targets, you know, that are cash game plays and people want to plug them in. I understand fully. But if you're trying to win a tournament, why is Waddle under? I don't understand. There's no way. Like, if you're like, look, it's hard to get there, but like Waddle should never be below like 8-9%, let alone projecting at 2.5. This is an easy tournament play, either in Tua doubles, which have been like the best double this year, right? 1,600 plus receiving yards for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, all of those yards coming from whoever their quarterback is. And right now that's Tua. Or if you're using him as a bring back play or a secondary stack, if you like somebody on Chicago, or just as a one-off if he's going to be under 5. This is an easy tournament play. Jalen Waddle has his highest ceiling as anybody else. 33.6 points in week 8 against Detroit, 20.9 against Minnesota, 43.1 against Baltimore. Yes, he has a high distance between his floor and his ceiling. He can get you those 5, he can get you those 10-point days. We don't care about that. If you're trying to win a tournament, you have to be playing for the best case scenario. If you're telling me that a player that we know has 30 plus point upside as a part of his game, big playability, solid amount of targets, lots of receiving yards, can get you that 3-point bonus on DraftKings, and is playing against a defense that was already bad and then traded away their 2 best defensive players, there's no way Jalen Waddle should be this low in tournaments. So like, easy click for all of you guys. Devontae Adams is 3.4%. You know who the most popular player on this slate is? It's Travis Etienne. You know who is popping as probably the best value double stacks on the week? It's Jacksonville through Trevor Lawrence and then pick one of his 4 pass catchers. If you wanted to bring back that double stack or have a secondary involved with Travis Etienne and the 30 to 45% that he's going to be in tournaments this week, Devontae Adams is at 3.4% right now. I think that this rises. I think there's no way that Devontae Adams ends this weekend in the Millionaire Maker under 5%, but that's where he is now, so I get to use him in this video. Easiest one of all time. Look, bad game last week, embarrassing game last week against New Orleans, right? Like, these are professionals. They will not stand for this. We've already seen that he can put up 30-point days in this offense before. They have to circle the wagons. They have to rally the troops. They have to reallocate their offensive philosophy around what they do best, and that is getting the ball 25 times to Josh Jacobs, 5 times plus through the air, and throwing the damn ball 10 plus times to Devontae Adams. 10 targets certainly have to be incoming here, right? If he gets 10 to 15 targets, as we've seen him do a couple of times this year already, that's when they do better. That's when they run away from teams. Get the ball in the hands of the players that make things happen. He's only 8,100. Squares off against Jacksonville, who is exploitable defensively, specifically through the air. And the last play is Allen Lazard. Now, last week I had Deebo Samuel on the list, and Deebo ended up not playing. Allen Lazard practiced in limited fashion on Wednesday and Thursday, practiced full on Friday. He's listed as a game day decision, but he is trending and looks like he is going to play. So I'm going to include him in this list because right now he is projecting at 4%. I really like, well, okay, I don't want to say I really like Aaron Rodgers stacks. I really like every stack that plays against Detroit. Can we just say, I don't care who is playing Detroit. I will be playing stacks on the other side. I don't care who it is. If it's Houston, I want as much of a team that gives up 24 plus real life points every single week as I can get. Everyone is flocking towards Aaron Jones for good reason. Coming off like 140 plus yard rushing game. Detroit is just bad. Multiple touchdown upside for Aaron Jones, 7,400. He just makes sense. Aaron Rodgers does not look good this year. 80% of his throws behind the line of scrimmage last week. I get it. But are you telling me there is a 0.0% chance that Allen Lazard has 100 yards and a touchdown against Detroit? Certainly that can happen. And that leverages you off of all the people that are playing the 30% of people that are going to play Aaron Jones to the 4% of people that are playing Allen Lazard. What if they get close to the goal line? Instead of Aaron Jones getting the touchdowns, 2 touchdowns go to Allen Lazard. You then watch all of those Aaron Jones lineups move down and all of your Allen Lazard lineups move up. I would much prefer the passing game here. Obviously, the running game is the right play, so to speak, from a points per dollar perspective, from a median projection perspective, but from a touchdown perspective, Allen Lazard is a big-bodied, able wide receiver who has rapport with Aaron Rodgers and 4 touchdowns in the games that he has played so far this year. Always has multiple touchdown upside, and that's what you want out of a 5 under 5 player. So the best of luck to you this weekend. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.